Welcome, folks. Today, with this particular assignment, we're going to be reviewing the idea of counterclaims and rebuttals. I know that we addressed this particular topic probably around November. We talked about arguments and you gave an argumentative speech, but now we're going to really dig into this. I want to stress before we even get started that this is an important assignment for a couple of reasons. This is a key factor in any argument that you make, and also the writing that you do for this particular argument, I'm going to use as a measure of your growth throughout the year. So I'm really going to be looking at what you write for this particular activity to determine if you have met the standards for 7th grade writing and how much you have grown throughout the year. So keep that in mind as I'm going over these things. Now, I have this page pulled up, which I'm going to use as an example of writing a counterclaim and rebuttal. And then this is the assignment that you have to do. So I'm going to go over the example, which is set up very similarly to the assignment that you have to do, and then I'll go over the assignment for you at the end. First, let's come down here and just take some notes to review a few things with counterclaims and rebuttals. So anytime we've got a prompt, it's normally going to say, should you do this or should whatever. Our question here is, should cell phones be allowed in school? Now, there are two possible responses to this, and we've practiced this with our brainstorming activity. There's the yes side and the no side. Okay? In this particular activity, we're going to read through the example. They chose the yes side. Cell phones should be allowed in school. So they're going to introduce some claims. They're going to support these claims with evidence. It's really going to be the heart of their argument. But to really fully expand their argument, they need to address what the people on the other side are saying. These are our counterclaims. One note about counterclaims. I know that the instinct is to choose a really weak counterclaim. Like some people say they shouldn't be allowed in school because the battery might die during the day. Nobody's really going to argue that. Would it be easy to rebuttal? Yeah. But when people are sitting back and listening to your argument, in their brains, they're going to be thinking about some really good counterclaims. And if you don't address a counterclaim that's good, they're going to assume that either one, you don't really understand the issue fully, or two, that you're afraid of addressing that counterclaim because you don't have a rebuttal. So when you choose a counterclaim, it needs to be the strongest claim that the other side could make, okay? And then for the rebuttal, you want to bring it back to your side, the yes side of the argument. We do this by taking the counterclaim and just ripping it to shreds, tearing it apart. That's what you want to do, okay? So again, your claims are on your side. The counterclaim is from the other side. And then the rebuttal breaks apart the other side so that we bring it back to your ultimate stance on the topic, okay? Now, let's take a look at this example that we have drawn out here about cell phones. Okay, the claim that we are trying to make here is that the use of cell phones should be allowed in school because of their usefulness to students. Let's go ahead and read the argument they've begun. In the case of a widespread emergency, students could contact their parents directly and keep school phone lines open for other communications. Data from a telecom consultant indicates that cell phone towers are typically more reliable, built to withstand extreme weather events and harsh climate conditions. Therefore, cell phones can play a pivotal role in coordinating when crisis hits, conveying information to communities, and even providing updates to those on the inside and outside of the crisis. In addition to this, if students have cell phones, they can send updates to their parents quickly and without jamming the school telephone lines. Okay, so a great argument so far. Now, we're going to transition into the counterclaim. This is one of the most important things that I can emphasize for you. And that is that we need a really strong transition phrase or sentence starters. I'm going to suggest you always use the exact same thing. Some people may claim. This lets us know that you are not claiming that. If you're saying some people may claim, we know you're discussing other people. Okay? Now, I've already written one out, so let's go ahead and reveal it. So some people may claim that cell phones provide a distraction to students. They would insist that emergencies happen rarely, but students could be distracted daily. So they're making the argument here that, they might be helpful in an emergency, but emergencies don't typically happen. And cell phones on a daily basis could interrupt learning. Okay, that's a great argument. Now we need to tear it apart. So again, we need another transition word here so that our readers understand now that we're pivoting back to our side of the argument. So we're going to use the word however. And then let me reveal here our rebuttal. However, even though emergencies may be rare, when they happen, it is crucial that everyone has the means to contact emergency services and their families. Teachers can employ a number of tactics in class to reduce distractions, but they cannot provide the contact with the outside world necessary during, that's supposed to say during, not dueling, during all emergencies. It's more important that our students are safe from harm. Their learning will always be secondary to their safety. Take a look at the size here. So here we've got 2 sentences, 2 lines. Here we have much, much more. We're working with 5 lines here and several more sentences. The counterclaim is strong in nature. People are probably already thinking it in their mind, so you need to address it. But your rebuttal, this is where you are showing your true argumentative prowess. This is where you are showing us your strength in tearing apart an argument or building an argument. So your rebuttal needs to be stronger and more significant than that counterclaim. Okay? Now let's take a look at your assignment. So the directions here, very similar to the last one, you're going to read the draft of the argument. You will add a counterclaim and add a rebuttal. Here's the claim being made. Parents should use video games to help their children learn problem-solving skills. Let's look at the argument we've developed so far. Video games can play an important role in helping young children learn how to solve problems. Video games often present complex, multifaceted problems. Instead of having a single way for players to work through the issue, these reactive games allow children to try multiple approaches for dealing with sophisticated issues. When learning problem-solving skills, it is important that people are given high-reward, low-risk opportunities to practice using those skills. Video games do just that. After playing video games, children are more capable of looking at all areas of a problem, brainstorming multiple ways to address the problem, and switching tactics if their solutions prove unsuccessful. So that's the argument we've built so far. You are pretending you are this writer, that you have made these claims and that this is your ultimate stance, okay? Now, I've got some refreshers here for you about what a counterclaim and rebuttal are and what those transition words are that you should use. You have a ton of space in here. I expect that you're using it. Again, I'm using this particular writing sample as a way to view how much your writing has grown throughout the year. So I want you to show me that you understand the concepts here, and I want you to show me how good your writing can be. So use transitions, capitalize, use punctuation, vary your sentence structure, present complex ideas. That's really what I'm looking for here. So take your time with this one, and as always, let me know if you have any questions.